in the studio with BTFU.
Hi, it's Glyn here from BTFU FC, and I'm joined again by Danny Marshall, ex-pro footballer. Welcome, Dan.
Hey, Scully, how are you?
Yeah, good. Tears dried up yet?
Yeah. I was watching the City game this morning, and obviously they didn't score till the 49th minute, so I was getting a little bit excited. But as per normal, City just keep winning. Too good.
They steamrolled West Ham when West Ham was spent. They couldn't hold out for much longer than they did, sort of 2/3 of the game. Yeah. Some great goals. Erling Haaland, just that ball that put him through, and he's just an unstoppable train, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was the Messi-like little dink over the goalkeeper. You know, he's got everything. Those sort of goals, headers, volleys. He's just an all-round player.
How do you stop him you're a defender?
Yeah.
How would you stop him? You just chop his ankles? You told us before you'd fake an injury.
No, you can't. I mean, you can't do that now. You can't kick him. You're going to get a yellow and then you'll be off within 10 minutes of the game. You've got to get tight on him, but not too tight so that he can just roll you. So, I mean, it's obviously he's a very difficult player to stop.
It's a really difficult set of tactics to adopt if you're an opposing manager for Man City, because if you hold a high line, they'll just run straight in behind you. Yeah. If you come back to your own goal, they'll just smother you with quality, which they've got it all over the pitch. So, I suppose West Ham have done really well to hold them out for that long. Haaland has broken the Premier League goal-scoring record, which has stood for a long time.
Yep. 35 goals.
35 goals he's on now, and there's 4 games left. Yeah. So he's probably going to score more than 35 at his current rate.
Well, you'd think he'd get at least another 3 or 4, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Amazing for his first season to get 35 goals. And people, when City signed him, they were like, oh, it's way too much money. But looks like a good investment now.
Cheap at the price. Wherever it was, it's cheap money. Of course, Man City through the week beat Fulham 2-1. Yeah. That was a more tighter game. Fulham played really well.
Yeah, Fulham are on a good run. I thought they played really good in this game, and I was hoping they would possibly get a draw, and they held out for quite some time. City did make quite a few changes, but obviously the players that come in are still world-class players. And they get the 3 points. That's what all the good teams do. They just keep winning. Yeah,
and they're on. I think they're 5 straight now. Yeah, Man City. Looks like they just know how to win the league, and it looks like they're probably going to go on to win. You are hoping they won't. They're going to. You want them to stub their toe because you want Arsenal to come back over the top. Yeah. But in another game through the week, we'll talk about the Leicester-Everton game, which cost you the cash in the multi. Yeah. But Bournemouth were too good for Leeds, who've sacked. Is it Gracia? Yeah. And they got Sam Allardyce in for the last 4 games of the season. They won 4-1. It was pretty much one-way traffic there. Yeah. And the Leicester-Everton game ended in 2-2. And Maddison missing a penalty cost you your...
Yeah. So what did it cost you? I can't remember how much it was. Yeah. So it was a 3-leg multi. And Leicester winning was the last leg. And obviously they got a penalty at 2-1. And Maddison just was a horrendous penalty. Just kicked it straight at Pickford. Yeah.
Straight down the middle.
Yeah. And then they went on to obviously get another goal. So it was 2-2. So that was very annoying.
And you heard about Pickford's analysis of the penalty takers that was stuck onto his water bottle.
Yes, I missed that, but I did hear.
So he had Maddison's stats on there. So 60% of Maddison's penalty kicks, basically they've gone back over 5 years of data, were down the middle of the goal. Yeah. So I think Pickford pretended he was going to go one way and
just stayed there.
Took the punt that Maddison was going to hit it down the middle, and he did.
Yeah, well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Someone did their homework, and it paid off, unfortunately.
Well, so unfortunately, Danny didn't get his 3-leg multi this week, but hopefully we can find you some winners or some winning teams that you can add into yours, and those will be coming shortly from Danny and I. And again, if you haven't liked or subscribed to the BTFU FC, please do. Please like it and share it. Hi, it's Glyn here from BTFU FC again, and I'm joined again by Danny Marshall. And Danny, we're going to talk about the relegation battle, which really, really looks like it could go anywhere.
Yep.
There are I think Southampton nailed on to get the drop, aren't they?
Yeah.
They can't recover, surely.
No, Southampton 24 points, they're gone, definitely.
Yeah. So they've played 34 games, they've got 4 games left.
Yep.
Terrible goal difference, that's not even going to come into it. But above them you've got Everton, Forest, Leeds and Leicester,
yep,
all on the same number of 30 points.
Yeah, I know.
All played the same amount
Everton
of games.
On 29.
Everton on 29. So
Forest 30, Leeds United 30 and Leicester 30.
Okay, so the run-in's going to be really important for them.
Yep.
Do you think West Ham are safe? They're just above them. They got a 4-point buffer.
Yeah, I think they're safe. If they could just pick up another point, I think that would definitely secure them for next season. But yeah, anyone from those 4, Everton, Forest, Leeds, Leicester, it's a lottery. Who's going to go, really?
On a previous show, I thought Everton would remain safe because the other teams that were above them at that stage were playing that badly. I thought Everton, with Sean Dyche coming, would solidify them, give them a bit of bottle for the end of give them a bit of steel for the end of the season. Look, they did play well against who did they play last week?
Leicester.
They played well against Leicester. Got away with, maybe not dropping all 3 points. Got a point out of that. They seem pretty happy with getting a point against Leicester. If they got all 3, it would have been bumps them up.
Yeah, Leicester should have gone 3-1 up. So for them to get a draw was probably a pretty good result.
So 2 points dropped for Leicester rather than 1 point gained.
And I've watched a fair bit of Everton the last few weeks, and they're pretty bad.
Pretty shit, yeah.
If I was going to pick, I think it's going to be Everton and Forest will be the other 2.
Do you think Leeds like Big Sam Allardyce moving
Sam's
in?
back.
Big Sam's back. He's said he's better than most.
Yeah.
Or he said there's not many better than him.
Yeah.
So he's back at Leeds.
Yeah.
How many managers have they had this year? They've had 3, have they?
Yeah. So this is he's the third. Yeah.
He's the third.
Yeah.
And they're not alone there.
No. It's like a roundabout.
It's a roundabout.
Yeah.
So we think Southampton, Leeds and Everton are going.
No. Southampton, Everton, Forest.
Okay. Well, I'm going Southampton, Forest and Leeds. I want Everton to stay up because without a Merseyside derby, there's not much of an interest watching the Premier League for me. I mean, that adds a bit of spice. So I'm hoping Everton stay up. It would be such a pity if they spend how much money they've spent on their new stadium.
Yeah. And
they'll be in the Championship.
Yeah, they can come back. But I just think Big Sam coming in at Leeds, he's done this so many times.
He hasn't got many games to do it, has he?
No, it was 4 games, so it's 12 points available. It's a lot of points, It's nearly half of their total. So be very exciting to see.
Yeah, well, if he wins all 4 games, he's got, 12 points, which is half.
Mid-table.
Mid-table, yeah. I can't see that happening.
Yeah, we'll see.
Talking on Big Sam, so he's just moved into Leeds, and he had a lot to say in his press conference when he was announced as manager.
Yeah.
What did he say and why did he say it?
Yeah, I watched that actually driving in today. Yeah, I mean, he's a very strong character. He's obviously been there, done it, and got the T-shirt. He's got clubs out of relegation trouble so many times, so he knows what he's doing. He does get belittled a fair bit for being sort of old school, lump it and head the ball, but he's obviously very good, and he's a very strong character. So he'll definitely get these players working hard.
Well, let's hope so, because for them, let's hope they can stay up. Another manager in the spotlight, Jurgen Klopp. We mentioned that he pulled his hammy, chasing after the 4th official when they scored the winner against Spurs.
Yeah.
So he's been sanctioned or charged by the FA.
Yeah.
He's a repeat offender. I mean, I love Klopp. I think he's my manager. I love him to bits, but you can't carry on like he's carrying on. I know emotion gets the better of him, but it just to abuse the assistant like that, it's probably not on, is it?
No, definitely not. I mean, they're obviously under a lot of pressure. These managers will get paid handsomely, but obviously Liverpool haven't had that great a season this year. They've turned their form around the last sort of month or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just not necessary.
And what about his comments about the referee Paul Tierney? He basically accused him of bias against
agenda,
against Liverpool, and he says that Tierney told him something that he shouldn't have told him.
Right.
And he's not prepared to say what it was. But if he said something and it's proven to be right, well, then is he vindicated or not?
I just think they should come out and say what he said, basically.
I think they should just release the audio. Let's hear what he said, and if he's done something wrong, knock him on the head, sanction him, and we'll move on. But if he's right in what he says, well, is it wrong for a referee to shout back at a manager? I'll tell you what, if I was a referee, I'd be telling him exactly where to go.
Yeah. I did hear a stat about the referee. They said he refereed 62% of Liverpool's games, or something like that. Well, so maybe that's too much. Hey, he
ranted on about all sorts of things, about penalties that weren't given. Blowing the final whistle when Mane was through on goal. So those sorts of things clearly Klopp thinks those sorts of things are deliberate.
Yeah, if you imagine if you're reffing the same teams, you're going to sort of get to know what players are up to and stuff. So, you might subconsciously be a bit biased, but surely they should be sharing their games around, really.
Well, he's got a little bit to answer. He's apologised, clearly. Yeah. He has to apologise.
Yeah.
And the other one is on managers. So Pochettino's been rumoured to be going to Chelsea.
Yep.
Via PSG from Spurs.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chelsea and Spurs are not the best of mates, are they?
No,
not at all.
No.
But so he's going to be, obviously, if he's successful, he'll be welcomed there.
Yeah.
Why haven't they announced him as manager yet?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Like, obviously, it came out a couple of weeks ago that he was going to be going there. Maybe they're just waiting for the end of the season. I mean, I think they're safe. It's a shame. So
really. Do you think they're waiting to make sure they're, or Pochettino's waiting to make sure they're staying in the Premier League? Because there's a slim chance, very slim chance they'll get relegated. They've got 39 points. They've got to stay up.
It's a shame there's not a few more games, because then they would definitely be in
He's going to look like a genius if he comes in next year and turns that team around, because they've got a team full of unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
That they're just not gelling.
Yeah.
They're a team of eyes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pochettino.
He plays good football.
Yeah, he'd be a great manager to play for, Likes to keep the ball on the ground.
He can only improve them. Can't make them any worse, can he?
Oh, me and you could do better than...
What's going to happen to Frank Lampard?
I know. I think he's got to take a drop down a few leagues, have some success at a smaller club, and then come back, 5-10 years' time to the Premier League. That's what he needs to do. Otherwise, he's just ruining his reputation as such a great player.
It didn't even look like they had an idea of how to play.
Nah.
On the game against who did they play against?
Arsenal.
3-1. They lost 3-1 at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal just wiped them off the board. Came off a bounce Arsenal came off a loss to City and then 3 draws before that. So they were up for it.
Yeah. But a couple of great goals from Odegaard.
Oh.
Yeah, he's now got 14 from midfield.
He's a midfielder.
Yeah, it's pretty good, eh?
Pretty good.
Yeah, he's a class act. Him and Saka probably been the standouts this year.
Yeah. Martinelli on the left. We spoke about how Man City negated Martinelli and Saka.
Yeah.
But against Chelsea, it was...
he didn't come on.
He came on till late. Yeah. So... Arteta didn't even think he needed the bloke.
Well, I think he maybe was trying to make a point that he obviously didn't do a good enough job against City, so maybe benched him,
Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll give the player a G up.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, well, they got the result because they won there. So the managerial merry-go-round in the EPL is just never ending.
Yeah, I know.
Any chance anyone else can get sacked before the end of the year?
Oh, I'll be surprised now. Yeah. Only 4 games left. I don't think.
Can they sack Lampard?
No, I don't think they will, because he's not really the manager anyway. So and we both think they're safe, don't we? So
I think they're safe.
He's just looking after them, basically.
A little bit embarrassing for him, for his own self-pride, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame, because he was amazing, one of the best Premier League players ever. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll go in history as one of the best ever, but his reputation's somewhat tarnished with his own fans. Look. That'll be forgotten as soon as they get a new manager, because he's only been here for a short while.
Yeah. This time's not Lampard's fault, but he's
not helping things though, is he?
He hasn't turned anything around, has he?
No. Which is a pity, but that's the Premier League for this week. All the games we've covered.
Yep.
We're going to try and go through the games for this coming weekend, and there's a couple of nice ones. We'll What's your pick?
Hang
on.
You got me there.
Cut that. Well, this is for another show.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
In another video.
Another video, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Is that the last one or not? There's more.
I think there might be like
Another
3 more
chapter.
pages.
3 more chapters.
Sorry, guys.
So Brighton United tomorrow, then.
Are these printouts of your novella that you're working on to sell at the markets on the weekend?
Should be, yeah. People would read what I would write, maybe.
So you
Yeah,
got
that's everything. So sorry, guys.
got to be Brighton, Man United, and then Newcastle, Arsenal, probably the 2 games.
Okay, we'll just stand in front of it and
Is this the? Are you
so I just want to do the ending of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dan, that's the merry-go-round of managers. We can't really see too much changing until the end of the season, but what a season it's turning out to be. So if you haven't been watching any of the Premier League, make sure you catch this weekend's games, and we'll be on top of it all. And here at BTFUFC, like, share, and subscribe, please. That's that. Right.
Share, follow.
So now we're gonna just go through the weekend's games and what we.
Yeah.
And these will just be real.